Ladies and gentlemen, I just got done with the hangout and I was thinking about Chris Darden, who is now the attorney for Eric Holder. And all of a sudden, I remember Johnnie Cochran, and he had a case that he was working on that he was going to sue the US government for reparations for African Americans. And he started working on this right after the O.J. Simpson case. And they had put together a group of really powerful attorneys that won huge settlements and federal judges. Okay, so this man was pretty well connected to be able to put a team together like that. And they were working on putting a case, a very strong case, one that was never seen before in this country. Him and a group of powerful attorneys, and take it to the US government. Now, they did several trips to Washington, D.C., and quite a few meetings to get this whole thing rolling. Now, some of you might remember Johnnie Cochran died of brain cancer. So this whole case was never completed. So let's get into this. This actually came out October 4th, 2012, and it's on reunionblackfamily.com. Johnnie Cochran was a brilliant attorney. He really was. And it's a shame that we lost him so soon. So not many people know that after the O.J. Simpson case, Johnnie Cochran spent much of his time preparing for a case, collecting historic data, information, and studying cases to sue the U.S. government for reparations for Africans in America. Johnnie Cochran, the famed O.J. Simpson attorney, has said on national television that he is going to focus on his reparations for slavery lawsuit against the United States of America. Johnnie Cochran has assembled a reparations dream team of high-powered trial lawyers to help him in this lawsuit. And liberal federal judges have already cost taxpayers in cities like Kansas City, Missouri, and Yonkers, New York, of billions of dollars to pay for their non-consensual rulings. A liberal federal judge could cost U.S. taxpayers trillions of dollars more if Johnnie Cochran wins his reparation suit. Lawyers planning suit for African American reparations, 1104, 2000, a powerful group of civil rights and class action lawyers who have won billions of dollars in court is preparing a lawsuit seeking reparations for American Black descendants from slaves. The project, called the Reparations Assessment Group, is confirmed by Harvard Law professor Charles J. Ogletree, and appears to be the most serious effort yet to get American Blacks compensated for 244 years of legalized slavery. Lawsuits and legislation dating back to the mid 1800s have gone nowhere. We will be seeking more than just monetary compensation. See, they weren't taking that off the table. They wanted Blacks in America to have money. But you got these nuts running around here talking about it shouldn't be money. We need to put it in education. We need to start programs. You idiots. Okay, back to this. We want a change in America. We want full recognition and a remedy of how slavery stigmatized, raped, murder, and exploited millions of Africans through no fault of their own. Ogletree said the group, which include famed attorney Johnnie Cochran, first met in July and will hold its fourth meeting in Washington, D.C. later this month. This country has never dealt with slavery. It is America's nightmare. A political solution would be most sensible, but I don't have a lot of faith that's going to happen. So we need to look aggressively at the legal alternative, Ogletree said. Harvard ultra-liberal Charles Ogletree indicated that the group's lawsuit will be directed against the federal government, state governments, corporations, and other institutions that allegedly have benefited from slave labor, and also the universities too. Can't leave them out. Ogletree and the Reparations Assessment Group includes attorney Johnnie Cochran and Alexander J. Pierce Jr., who won a $1 billion settlement for Black farmers who claimed discrimination by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Richard Scruggs, who won the $368.5 billion settlement for the states against tobacco companies. Dennis C. Sweet III, who won a $400 million settlement in the Fen-Phen diet drug case. And Willie E. Gary, who won a $500 million judgment against the Lowen Group, Inc., the largest funeral home operators. So these are all the lawyers that were working with Johnnie Cochran on a reparations case against the U.S. government. Sounds like a pretty good team to me. Also in the group is Randall Robinson, the president of Trans-Africa Forum, a think tank specializing in African, Caribbean, and African American issues. Robinson recently wrote the book, The Debt: What America Owes to Blacks. I'm going to have to look for that book. I would like to read it. Let me see if I can find that. Which argues for reparations. Supporters of the reparations boondoggle cite recent, largely irrelevant, incomparable cases where groups have been compensated in for cash for discrimination by governments. So they're using the $20,000, that was awarded to Japanese Americans that were held in concentration camps during World War II. Reparation advocates fail to acknowledge that the Japanese Americans who received $20,000 award were direct, still living victims of the government's discrimination. This is not the case in the proposed slavery reparations debacle. Many generations and trillions of dollars in welfare payments and minority set-asides and racial preferences in the U.S. have already been awarded to Blacks in this country. That is bullshit. My family was never on welfare. Okay. So if you're saying welfare payments is a reparation, for who? For who? I'm serious. For who? Because all Black people are not on welfare. In fact, it's just a very small percentage of us that's on welfare. So that being said, how can that be considered a reparation? If that's the case, why don't you just give Jews? Oh, I forgot, they do get welfare. Well, how come you don't consider that their reparations? And go look this up, y'all. The Jews, especially the biggest group of Jews in this country in New York, they get Section 8 and they get welfare. And it's amazing how you don't consider that their reparations. You still give them reparations every year. Okay, many citizens and politicians also argue that it isn't fair for taxpayers and corporations who never owned slaves to be burdened with possible multi-billion dollar settlements. No, because you still benefit off of our pain even to this day. I don't care what you think is not fair. Tough shit. Tough shit. All of these institutions out here have benefited. It's time. Hashtag ADOS, hashtag tangible, hashtag cut the check. We don't want to hear all these little side arguments. You benefited from this stuff. You still benefit from us being the underclass in America. So I don't want to hear all of your side arguments. Go argue among each other. But when you come over here, we're not accepting any of your arguments. Please tell me what you think, y'all. And I'm going to look for that book. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell. And I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.